Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have a few brand new updates when it comes to PlayStation 5 pens that are actually going to be driving brand new information when it comes to old school PS3 games coming to PS5. We did make a video on that once, if you guys did go check that on out. I'll give you guys a quick recap, but it was really cool. We're actually seeing a bunch of brand new games potentially coming over here to the PlayStation 5. We also have a little bit of fun brand new news that Capcom just did a brand new event as of today with a brand new beloved game coming out, and a little bit of PlayStation Portal news, like a little bit of all around fun stuff. So let's go and talk about it. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below in case you guys like to follow. And of course, as well, we're going to be probably live up on Twitch tonight and doing a little bit more Elden Ring. So as you guys see this video, it'll probably be live up. So go and swing by and say hello or follow if you guys want to. And let's go dive on into the video. So as I mentioned, PlayStation's been kind of like dabbling around a little bit when it comes to a potential PlayStation 5 patent and brand new PlayStation 5 updates. So we covered this up a few days ago, where there was basically the PS3 has always had a lot of issues. It's built slightly differently than the PS2, PS4, and PS5. Is a slightly different architecture. Now, all these architectures just make it really hard to like port over games and make the games run to PS5. Now, we have seen emulators that somewhat work, and we have also seen a few little like kind of workarounds, but in theory, it's just hard to make it happen. But right now, we have now seen even more confirmation in regards to this random backwards capability. Now, we kind of covered this a little bit on a prior video, but just kind of quickly rehashing on it because we saw more of the patent marks and all of this. And overall, I think it's kind of just been getting a lot more news. And a little bit more of like, I guess, a rundown into it really quickly. So basically, we should still be getting the PS3 games. We kind of covered this before, but there should be a lot of brand new games as well, even like being able to be easily ran on the PS5. We don't necessarily know if there's going to be a performance improvement or not, but as we've kind of covered it, basically it's meant to do like a check and balance to kind of, let's go and say you have a old school PC. If you guys remember, this is a little bit of my boomer time over here. And sometimes as you launch a game, it would be like, we need to have these minimum specs. And then as those minimum specs are checked, basically they go and almost like preemptively set like if it's gonna be on like the highest quality or not, or how like efficient the game's gonna run. If you guys remember old school Steam games, old school PC games as a whole, that was a really easy thing to look at. Basically like preemptively just sets the graphics for your thing. So it'd be that same similar type of technology for that PS3 game on the PS5. So it would launch initially, checking to see if it was capable of running on the PS3. And obviously the PS5 has way better GPU, CPU, everything inside it, like better internals. So it'll be like, oh, hey, this is good. This game can totally be ran very well. And then as they're going and checking it, in theory, you should be able to go utilize more specs, and that's seemingly the technology for it. So we kind of touched on this before, there's a little bit more brand new information, but it does seem like this is cooler. With this brand new patent coming on out, it seems like there's a lot more. So the more in-depth thing is basically seeing like this has been very absent from the PS5, primarily due to the complexities around emulating the former infamous Cell chipset. So the PS Plus premium subscribers can stream PS3 games over the cloud, but many consider the experience far from ideal due to lengthy load times and latency hiccups. So basically saying it can't fully utilize the PS5's technology, it's more so on the internet and data center technology, which is still better than what it was when the PS3 came out, but obviously if you can either run it purely on your PS5 versus running it purely on your internet, there's a big difference between the two. And I would agree. So anyway, if you just want to have a chance to utilize most of the PS3 games, you can. So it appears that it could change in the future, though, as the recent rumors we've covered on prior videos suggested that Sony is working on the native PS3 backwards compatibility for the PS5. But there was basically no official evidence or hints to substantiate it. However, though, and this is the bigger news, a new patent filed by Mark Cerny, the guy who basically helped make the architecture for these in the first place, and who's also now one of the biggest heads of PlayStation Studios as of now. Basically, he was the architect of the PS5 as well, so the guy who helped literally make the PlayStation 5, who also was working on the PS3 at the time, has now alluded to the PS3 emulation being in development. So this is basically like the confirmation that it will be coming. Because we see the official patent over here, kind of just like more people are kind of having a chance to talk about it, get more information on it, etc. And it was filed on the 27th of June as well, titled Backwards Compatibility Testing of Software in a Mode that Attempts to Induce Skew. The patent describes a mechanism that allows a device, presumably the PS5, to run in a timing testing mode that purposely induces skew. So it's what I was trying to go and explain before, how basically if you have like an old school style PC, if you guys are older, you launch a game, it like does like a system diagnostics to go and see on how well it runs and how well it's like utilized, optimized, whatever, and then as you go and you launch it, it'll see that is actually running on a PS5, which is way better specs than the PS3, and then with all of that together, will allow those games to be ran on the PS5, and ideally not through streaming, like purely through the PS5 console, and as well also on better frame rate, better resolution, better specs, better loading time, better loading in general, and I think that should be really nice. So as you guys can see, this is the pan over here, which we may have covered up in a separate video. So SKU basically creates processor timing variations that can affect the way any software would run on it, which is intriguing considering the PS3's notorious asymmetrical cell processor, which assigned separate tasks to the CPU cores rather than all of them working collectively, like in modern x86 architectures. So using a SKU-induced compatibility layer for the PS5 could be Sony's way of getting PS3 games to run natively on the current gen console, and finally allow PS5 owners to delve into must-play PS3 titles. So basically they're kind of like reworking the technology to make these games runnable. Now we did cover this in a separate video, you guys may have checked it out and remember it, but for this I think it's just a bigger and more in-depth run-through that it seems like it's a proper patent, proper brand new technology, and as well, once again, running natively instead of running through weird streaming. So it should run a lot better. So this information should be taken with a grain of salt, though, since numerous patents don't end up bearing fruit on consumer-facing features. That said, though, Sony has lately been ramping up its preservation efforts, though, and also introduced the PS2 games for PS Plus Premium. In June, these games run on a brand new emulator, so the company is clearly looking into methods to make its older games available on modern hardware. So many remain skeptical of native PS3 backwards compatibility, but it's logical that Sony would have been prepared for a dedicated solution in the future. So it makes sense, because we have, like, PS5 games that's been out for like 3 years. At a certain point, they probably want to go and update everything and make it run a little bit better. So there's a little bit more, like, kind of additional, like, yeah, this is probably going to happen sooner than later, and it does seem like they did finally find a good workaround for the PS3 games and the PS5. Now, as well, we also did have a little bit of a cool Capcom event. I'm kind of excited because Dead Rising, which is one of the more cooler games out there, basically Deluxe is out as of September 19th. So a brand new game coming out. And also Kunitsu Gami Path of the Goddess also has a demo that came out as of today as well. But basically for the Dead, I think the Dead Rising one's probably the more important or funner run through. Basically the game itself now has this Deluxe Remastered Edition. And I may have to go and verify my age though really quick. You guys can see that I'm now in a 500-year-old man, whatever, the usual. But basically, they had a chance to go and completely update the game. Like, this game looks way, way better than the old school original versions, and I am actually quite excited to play this. I will probably go buy this and play this day one. I'm very, very excited to go and see this, and overall, they've done a lot of big stuff. Like, basically made the game into more of a 2020-plus game rather than, back when it first initially came out. But this has always been a really fun series. And if you guys have ever played them back in the day, let me know. But I think this is one of those rare game series that they should probably go make another version of it. Because why not? Like, this is a very, very cool game, cool series. And I don't know, especially with updated graphics. And I feel like it's been out long enough that I could see this being a worthwhile remaster. So either way, Capcom did some pretty cool stuff. I've never really heard of this game. I mean, I know of Okami, but I've never really heard of Kunitsu Gami. But they do have the demo that's out for this one. So the game looked cool, looked very fun, obviously very Capcom, Weeby style, but at the end of the day, very cool. The demo is out. Now, last but not least, we saw a little fun article talking about the best PlayStation Portal games to play in the PS5 Portal. If you guys want to go and just kind of have a quick scroll through, because I know some people have been trying to get these on out. Dredge, a very cool indie game. Persona, obviously a very long game too as well, but very fun, fits well. Animal Well, we have Beltoro, which this game gets a special mention for me. This is a very cool poker, card-like, roguelike game. Very fun. Like, this is a perfect Steam Deck and also, like, PlayStation Portal game. Very highly recommend. A lot of people like it. Whereas some of the old school games like the remasters that are now being brought over to the PS5, Astro's Playroom, especially to get you go and get caught up on the upcoming Astro's Playroom, Final Fantasy as well, which I still need to go and beat this game. I'm sad that I haven't. I will most likely be putting my PS5 to my like actual like bedroom sometime soon, and then like a Dragon, all the Yakuza games, and of course Returnal. Once again, roguelikes always feel phenomenal when it comes to being held on handheld consoles and handheld devices. Or if you guys want to go check out like Disney Dream Night Valley, because maybe you have kids or whatever. These are all, most of those games in that list I've checked out and played, but obviously those games just have a very nice casual vibe when it comes to using any handheld stuff. So give me your thoughts and comments on everything down below. I appreciate you guys all very much for watching. Swing by the Twitter and Twitch if you guys would like to. Probably live on Twitch right now for Elden Ring, and I appreciate y'all for watching in the first place.